How does customs clearance actually work in Malaysia? Here's the direct answer. Customs clearance is the formal process of declaring your imported goods to the Royal Malaysian Customs Department. I'm Dan Dua, Director at DNE Logistics. We've been clearing cargo through Port Klang for over 25 years. So I want to walk you through exactly how this process works, step by step, the documents, the forms, how duty gets calculated, and the one mistake that costs importers the most money. So what documents do you actually need? 6 of them, and they need to be ready before your cargo even leaves the origin port. The commercial invoice states the value, description, and terms of sale. The packing list has to match that invoice exactly, down to the carton count. Then you need your bill of lading for sea freight or airway bill for air freight. If your product is controlled, certain foods, pharmaceuticals, chemicals, electronics, you need an import permit from the relevant agency. If you're claiming a lower duty rate under a free trade agreement like a TIGA or RCEP, you need a certificate of origin, and you need proof of cargo insurance. Since 2025, all of this gets submitted digitally through MyCIEDS, the Malaysia Customs Import-Export Document System. The advantage is real. You can upload everything before your cargo physically arrives, which means customs can start pre-clearance processing while your container is still on the water. Every product needs a Harmonised System code, an HS code, and Malaysia uses an 8-digit version called the AHTN. This one code decides 3 things at once: your import duty rate, which can run from 0 to over 30%, your sales tax rate under SST, either 5 or 10%, depending on category, and whether you need any special permits at all. Here's the point most first-time importers miss. The cheapest time to fix a wrong HS code is before you place your purchase order, not after your container has already landed at Westport. Once goods are on the water with the wrong code attached, you're choosing between overpaying duty on every shipment or underpaying and risking a penalty of up to 50% of the duty shortfall if it's caught in an audit. The actual declaration you submit is called the K1 form, Borang Kastam Nombor 1, and it's the standard form for goods entering Malaysia for domestic use. In practice, a licensed forwarding agent submits this on your behalf, attaching your commercial invoice, packing list, transport document, and HS code classification. Once it's submitted, RMCD sorts every declaration into one of 3 lanes. Green lane means low risk, the system approves it automatically, no physical inspection, and that's typically 2 to 4 hours to release. Yellow lane means an officer reviews your paperwork but doesn't open the container, call it 1 to 2 working days. Red lane means physical inspection, where an officer checks the goods against your declaration and can take samples. That's 2 to 5 working days. What pushes you into red lane? Being a first-time importer, shipping from a higher risk origin, or having a history of under-declaration. The formula is simpler than people expect. Start with your customs value, usually the CIF value, meaning cost plus insurance, plus freight to the Malaysian port. Multiply that by your import duty rate, and that gives you your import duty. Then add the duty back onto the CIF value and multiply that total by your sales tax rate. That gives you your SST. Add the 2 together, and that's your total tax liability at the border. If you're a manufacturer importing raw materials for further processing, Schedule C can wipe out the sales tax portion entirely, but only if you apply for it and get it approved before your cargo arrives. Apply after arrival and you are paying the full amount upfront. than chasing a refund that may or may not come through. So, to recap the direct answer, customs clearance in Malaysia is the formal RMCD declaration process. And for a shipment with clean documents, a correct HS code, and no permit gaps, Green Lane release runs 2 to 4 hours. Most of the actual variance comes down to preparation, not luck. At D&E Logistics, we handle the customs clearance, the K1 filing, and the haulage out of Port Klang, all under one roof. So there's no handoff between vendors when something needs fixing. If you want the full written breakdown, every document, every form, every common mistake, the complete guide is on dnlogistics.com.my. And if you've got a shipment coming in and you're not sure what permits apply, that's exactly the kind of question to send us on WhatsApp before it ships, not after it lands.